When I was 7 years old, I loved Ali Ababwa. Ali Ababwa? Who's Ali Ababwa? Also known as Prince Ali from Aladdin. Prince Ali, yes it is he, Ali Ababwa. Strong as 10 regular men, yes it is he. I love this movie. When I was 7 years old, I remember going to the movie theater, sitting in the seat and watching as they told the story of this young boy named Ali, one who was homeless, who didn't have any friends, but somehow became the prince of a city called Agrabah. When I walked out of the movie theater, all I could think about is how I wanted to be just like him. I got a little stuffed animal that was a monkey, and I named him Abu, just like Abu from Aladdin. I would take Abu with me everywhere. He would sit with me on the bus. When I'd play baseball, he'd sit on the bench, and when anyone would sit next to him, I'd say, hey, 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 that's Abu over there, please. Give him some respect. Just like Aladdin, I wanted a magic carpet. Now, the thing is in Aladdin, he had a magic carpet that he would ride, and it would take him all around the world. He would fly up into the sky. He would look at the stars. He'd be able to see his city. Unfortunately, such a magic carpet didn't exist. I couldn't find it, but I had a blanket named Blanky. Creative, I know, but that was his name. His name was Blanky. It was a white blanket with little black stripes on it, and I would take this blanket everywhere. Of course, I would sleep with it, I'd put it over me at night, and when I'd have it on me, I would dream about all of these different things, going into the heavens, seeing the stars flying above my city. When I'd wake up in the morning, I'd take this blanket with me, and I'd rush downstairs, and I'd eat my food with it. I'd eat my cereal. I would keep it with me all the time. I would even take it to the showers with me sometimes. My mom never knew about it, but sometimes I would. But it didn't last forever. One afternoon, we had someone ring on our door. It was like, ding dong. Now, at our house, not many people used to come to the door, so I didn't pick it up. I was, a little bit scared, so I went to the window and I opened it up, and I saw that there was an old lady who was there, and she had a bag. I thought to myself, what is this old lady with a bag doing? I'm not sure. And then she rang on the doorbell again. It was like, ding, dong. And now finally my mom came downstairs. She opened up the door and she started talking to this lady. And all I could hear was, pss, 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 pss. Oh, okay. Pss, 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 pss. Okay, we'll do it right now. Pss, 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 pss. Okay, blankets. Okay, sure. My mom went upstairs and she called all of us. She said, look, I want you to go to your rooms and I want you to grab your blankets. I looked at my mom and I said, blankets for what? She said, today we're going to give them away. Give them away? You're telling me that I have to give Blanky away? No way, no. How am I going to do that? My mom said, look, in Minnesota there is an issue with homelessness. And winter is coming. All of these people who are homeless, well, in the wintertime, they get really cold. And in order to stay warm, they need blankets. Now, there's a lady downstairs who's collecting blankets, and I told her that each of my kids is going to be donating their blanket. So get in your room and grab your blankets because we are giving them away. My older brother went into his room. He grabbed his blanket and gave it to our mom. My sister went into her room, grabbed her blanket, gave it to mom. I went into my room. I picked up the blanket and I looked at it, and the blanket looked at me. I felt its soft feeling against my face one last time, and I started thinking about all the time that we spent together, and I started thinking to myself, oh my goodness, I just don't think I can do this. I just don't think I want to do this. I mean, come on, it's my blanket. So I grabbed my blanket, I went to my mom, and I said, hey mom, can we talk in private? And she said, okay, sure. I sat her down. I said, look, mom, I know what you're trying to do here. And I love, caring about other people as much as you do. But mom, this is my blankie. I mean, I wouldn't ask you to give something that you care about away. I mean, I would never ask you to give me away. I mean, how could you ask me to give blankie away? My mom looked at me. She said, Amin, come on. I said, no, Mom, this is my magic carpet. She said, Amin, come on. I said, no, but Mommy, this is my blanket. She said, Amin, okay, how about this? Let me make you a promise. I said, promise? She said, let me make you a promise. I was like, I'm listening. Tell me what you got. She said, if you give away your blanket, I promise you that you'll get something much better. I said, much better? Mom, you're promising me that if I give my blanket away, I'll get something much better? She said, absolutely guaranteed, or your money back. I said, well, hold on, let's get talking. What about a magic carpet? I've always wanted a magic carpet. Do you think you can give me one of those? I mean, come on, let's get talking. My mom said, no, Amin, I am not going to get something for you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will. I said, Mom, what do you mean? She says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promises. He promises that when you give out of what you love the most, Allah gives you something so much better. I said, Mom, are you sure? She said, guaranteed, or your money back. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promises in the Quran that when you give out of what you love the most, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you something so much better. So on that day, I looked at my mom, I shook her hand, I said, okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I gave away my blanket. And you know what? She was right. I got something so much better. Do you know what I got? I got the chance to tell you the story today. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is so great to see you, not just on any day, but the day before Eid. Allahu Akbar. Today is going to be amazing. We are going to be talking about Prophet Ibrahim and the day of Eid. I'm going to be sharing you a story out of Noor Kids. I'm going to be singing you a song that is one that no one has ever heard before in the whole world. You're going to love it. And we're going to have some fun. But before we do that, allow me to introduce myself. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Amin Aaser, and I am the author of Noor Kids. What is Noor Kids, you ask? Well, Noor Kids is an amazing series in which every month families receive books in the mail. Books like Fairness for All and Animals of Allah and Faithful Friends and The Power of Prayer and so many more. You also get a Global Muslim Citizen Passport where you're able to collect badges every single month and build a love for Allah along the way. Right now, you can try Noor Kids for just $1. I mean, think about an Eid gift. An Eid gift that's only $1? Yes. You can go on noorkids.com and try it for $1 today. Oh, P.S., we also got some stuff for younger kiddos if you've got a little baby brother or sister. Anyways, you can check it out at noorkids.com. Enough about me. Today, we're talking about Hajj. Now, if you're like me, you may have wondered, what is Hajj? What is Hajj? And what is it all about? Well, in order to understand Hajj, we have to first understand Prophet Ibrahim. Long ago, Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, he wanted something more than anything. And he would make dua. He would pray and pray, morning until evening, for one thing, and that was a baby. He would say, Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I love you, I care for you. I do whatever it is that you ask me to do, but all I want from you is a baby. Now here's the thing. Prophet Ibrahim prayed not just for 1 year or 2 years, or 5 years, or 10 years. He prayed for years and years and years and years, up until the time when he became very old. he became very old and he began to think to himself, am I ever going to have a baby? And one day, his wife, Lady Hajar, may Allah be pleased with her, gave him some good news. She said, "O Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, I'm pregnant, we're having a baby." Prophet Ibrahim said, "Oh my goodness, we're having a baby." He was excited, his du'as were answered. And soon, this little baby boy named Ismail entered into the world. And he was beautiful. His face shined like the moon. His mouth radiated with a smile. And Ibrahim alayhi salam looked to Allah and said, "Ya Allah, thank you." But a time came, as this baby got a little bit older, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks Prophet Ibrahim. He asked Prophet Ibrahim and his wife Hajar, along with this baby Ismail, to travel into a desert. And when they get into this desert, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks Prophet Ibrahim to leave his wife and leave his baby in the middle of this desert. Now I want you to imagine. You look from side to side, and all you can see is this tan and gold sand. And when you look up at the sky, you see a full sun beating on your face, not even one cloud in the sky. And when you smell, you get this dust that comes into your mouth and your throat starts to feel dry because there's so much sand and it's so hot because you're in the middle of a desert. Now in this moment, Lady Hajar, may Allah be pleased with her, sees Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam and he's walking away. So she calls on him. She says, "Oh Ibrahim alayhi salam, where are you going?" The Prophet Ibrahim continues to walk away. Lady Hajar looks at him and she says, "Oh Ibrahim alayhi salam, where are you going?" Prophet Ibrahim continues to walk. Lady Hajar says again, she says, "Oh Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, where are you going, leaving us in this desert, me and this baby with nothing? Are you leaving because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has asked you?" And at this, Prophet Ibrahim turns around. Now can you imagine for this father? His entire life, all he wanted was this baby. All he had prayed for was this baby Ismail alayhi salam. And he finally had this baby, and not just any baby, a baby that radiated like the moon, a baby who when he smiled it lit up the entire world, like this baby was a special one. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked Prophet Ibrahim to leave him, to leave this baby and his mother in the desert. And so Prophet Ibrahim turns around and tells Hajar that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has asked him to leave Hajar and the baby in this desert. And he continues to walk away. It couldn't have been easy, it would have been so tough. But Prophet Ibrahim, Khalilullah, the friend of Allah, because Allah asked him to do it, he did it. Now time passes, and Lady Hajar and the baby are alone in this desert. And soon, it's not Lady Hajar who gets thirsty, but it's the young baby. Ismail alayhi salam, this prophet, starts getting thirsty. And so this prophet, this little baby, begins to cry. And anyone who has a little younger baby brother or sister knows that sound of a baby who's crying. Not crying because he's just whining, but crying because he's hungry, crying because he's thirsty, crying because he needs something. And so this mother, this wife of a holy prophet, she doesn't just sit there. No, she looks to the right and she sees that there's a mountain. She thinks to herself, maybe if I go to the top of the mountain, maybe there'll be some water. Maybe there'll be some people. Maybe there'll be something. So in the middle of this barren desert, while the sun is beating on her face, the sweat is dripping down her cheek, she doesn't walk, no, she runs. She runs 4.5 football fields to the top of this mountain. And when she gets there, no water, no people, no nothing. But the baby's still crying. So she says, what can I do? She looks into the distance and she sees another mountain. And she thinks to herself, maybe if I get to that mountain, maybe there'll be some water. Maybe there'll be some people. Maybe there'll be something. So in the middle of this desert, while the sun is beating down her face, while the sweat is dripping down her cheek, this wife of a holy prophet, this mother, she runs as fast as she can to the top of this other mountain. But when she gets there, there's no water, there's no people, there's no nothing. Now she starts to get worried. This mother, as her baby is crying, she says, what can I do? I can't stop. I've got to do something. So she thinks again, maybe if I go to that other mountain again, maybe there's some water there again. I don't know, maybe I didn't see it, or maybe there's some people there now. So she goes again and she runs as fast as she can in the middle of this barren desert, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. 7 times Lady Hajar runs. And finally, after the 7th time, the angel Jibreel appears in front of Hajar, and she says, oh Hajar, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with you, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take care of you. And underneath where her little baby Ismail was kicking and crying emerged a spring of water, and that water gushed forth, and that water was so much that it gave birth to an entire city. That water is called Zamzam. Zamzam means stop, stop. Because that water gushed so much that they started saying Zamzam. They started saying, stop, stop, this is too much water. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that water still gushes today. It gushes in the city of Mecca, and because of this water, it gave birth to this entire city of Mecca. Now I'm going to finish the story, but before I finish the story, I got to get the lights. Give me one moment. Okay, I'm back. Now, here's the thing. Remember when I started and I said, look, when you sacrifice for the sake of Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you something so much better. Like when I gave that blanket and I thought, oh my goodness, Allah's going to give me something so much better, and He gave me the chance to tell you that story today. Well, Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam also sacrificed. Remember, he was in that desert and he said, you know what? I'm going to give my boy, this boy that I have wanted forever. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you've asked me to do it, so I will do it. And you know what? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was so happy with Prophet Ibrahim, so happy with Lady Hajar, that from that point up until the end of times, Muslims every single year go back to Mecca. And they walk in the steps of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. They walk in the steps of Lady Hajar, may Allah be pleased with her. They walk in both of their steps. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was so happy with them that Allah wanted to give him something so amazing. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Ibrahim sacrificed, gave him something so amazing that every year we remember him and we remember his wife. And not only that, Ibrahim alayhi salam asked Allah. He said, Ya Allah, give me something. And you know what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says? He said that because you have done so much, that for the history of time, He would put the prophethood, the leaders within his lineage. And so after Ibrahim, all of the prophets are from his children. So for example, Ismail, his son. Right? And Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be on him, is from that family of Prophet Ibrahim as well. So anyways, it's the story of when you do good, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you something so much better. And you know what? I had the chance to go for Hajj too. Sorry, not for Hajj. I went for Hajj. Yes, I went for Hajj. Hajj. This is my wife, Sana, and this is me, Amin, and this is the Kaaba behind us, and we went for Hajj. And when you go for Hajj, it's not easy. Again, it's this idea of, doing something for the sake of Allah. And so when you go for Hajj, you can ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for whatever it is that you want. And you know what we asked for? We asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We said, Ya Allah, give us a baby. Give us a baby like Prophet Ismail alayhi salam. And you know what? Allah blessed us. Allah blessed us with a little baby girl named Kauthar Noor. And that girl, alhamdulillah, is the light of our eyes, and we ask that Allah protects her. But this was, we had the opportunity to go for Hajj again ourselves, and so I wanted to share that with you. Anyways, one of the things that Muslims do when they go for Hajj is they do this thing called Tawaf, and you might have seen it before. Tawaf is when you actually go around the Kaaba. You see this is the Kaaba, and Muslims go around the Kaaba. But if you've ever wondered, why do Muslims do that? Well, today, I'm actually going to talk about how Muslims do that by reading a story, and I'm going to read a story out of this book called Noor Kids Go to Hajj. But before we do that, I want to tell you to follow us on YouTube and Instagram. If you are not following us, subscribe, smash that subscribe button, hit the like button, vote up the video. It helps us with the algorithm. More people will discover this. More people discover Noor Kids. Please take a moment to do that. Also follow us on Instagram. We have some really interesting things happening on Instagram over the next couple of weeks. We're actually going to bring some of our characters to life. That means you're going to be able to hear us. You're going to be able to hear Amin. You're going to be able to hear Amir. It's going to be amazing. But you have to follow us on Instagram. Okay, enough with this. Time to read Noor Kids Go to Hajj. Now, if you haven't read Noor Kids before, allow me to first introduce you to our characters. Noor Kids follows the story of Amin, Shireen, Asad, and Amira. They live in a city called Maple Grove, and they go to a school called Northport Elementary. First, there is Shireen. You see her diving here underneath the water. Lots of times, you'll see her with her camera because she wants to be just like her mom, who works for National Geographic. Then there is Amin. Amin is a sports star. He loves baseball and soccer and football. He's got an older brother in college named Hasib. And the one thing about Amin is sometimes he does stuff without thinking about it, and because of that, he gets into trouble. Here you see Asad. You see him here as a sleuth trying to solve a crime, but Asad's more kind of like a scientist. He likes to break things apart just to figure out how to put them back together again. He's got a little baby named Yusra. And then there's Amira. Amira's an artist. She loves exploring all of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's beauty through art and poetry and painting. Now these four are the Noor Kids. And so I'm going to be reading one story out of this book called Noor Kids Go to Hajj. Every one of our books has two stories. I'm going to be reading one story, and the story is called In Allah's Orbit. But before we start, I need you to say Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Will you say it? Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hey, I did not hear you. I did not hear you. Say it loud, say it proud. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Very good. All right. Asad is speaking at the front of class. Did you know, by the time you are 8 years old, you'll have been around the sun 8 times. Our planet and the other 7 planets in the solar system rotate around the sun in a big circle called an orbit. Why do planets orbit the sun? Asks Shireen. The sun has a pull called gravity. It attracts planets like a magnet. Because of this, planets rotate around the sun their entire lives. Can you guys see that, right? So these, you can see these little, so this is Jupiter, this is Saturn, and this is the sun, right? They all go around the sun. They go around the sun. And the reason why is because they are attracted to the sun like a magnet. So they want to go next to the sun. And that's called gravity. Because of gravity, these planets go around the sun. Okay, anyways. Mr. Salman. I see your love for astronomy, says Mr. Salman. The school has an old telescope that no one is using. You should take it. Awesome. Thanks, Mr. Salman, says Asad. Bring, bring. Just as Asad finishes talking, the bell rings. School is over. Asad rushes for the exit, excited to get home. As soon as he arrives, Asad runs to his bedroom. Do you see that? After quickly assembling the telescope, Asad begins to dream about all of the out-of-this-world things he'll get to see. I can't wait to finally use this, he says. And what is he dreaming of? He's dreaming of looking at different planets and maybe some spaceships and then a shuttle and I don't even know, so many different things. Just as Asad is about to use his telescope, he hears a call. Asad, it's time to eat. Please come downstairs. It's Dad. Asad puts his excitement on hold and joins the family for dinner. My favorite. Bismillah. One bite into his mouth-watering burger, and Asad forgets all about his telescope. He listens to Mom and Dad talk about Hajj. Hajj is right around the corner, says Dad. And by the way, I don't know about you guys, but I love burgers. I actually love all kinds of food, but burgers are probably on my top 10 list. I love them. All right, anyways, Dad starts talking about Hajj. During Hajj, Muslims from all around the world make a journey to Mecca in order to build a stronger relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One of the rituals pilgrims perform is called Tawaf. In Tawaf, Muslims walk around the Kaaba 7 times. You can see this, right? They're walking around the Kaaba 7 times. Why do pilgrims do that? Says Asad. Great question, says Mom. Asad's mom explains that Muslims go on pilgrimage to Mecca because they are attracted to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and want to be closer to Him. By making tawaf around the Kaaba, Muslims are able to show that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the center of their lives. So look at this. There's the Kaaba, right? So like if we look at this and we're looking at it from like the bird's eye view looking down, you'd see that this is the Kaaba and these are people, right? And people are going around the Kaaba. But why are they doing it? They're doing it because they are so attracted to Allah. They're so attracted by Kaaba. They want the Kaaba to be the center of their lives. So they walk around it. I want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be the center of my life too, but right now, I want to find planets with my telescope. Asad asks to be excused from dinner and again rushes upstairs. But just as Asad gets to his room, he hears his alarm ring. Ring, 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 ring. Can you read that time? It says 7:57. Salah time already? Oh man, I really wanted to use my telescope, says Asad. Asad begins to think about what his parents said about Hajj. The reason why his alarm went off is because it was time to pray. Are gadgets and gizmos most important in my life? Or is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Right? So he thinks about himself doing like he's circling around the telescope or doing tawaf. So let me ask you a couple of questions. First, how is the pilgrim's tawaf around the Kaaba similar to the planet's orbit around the sun? Well, in the orbit around the sun, right, the planets, they go in circle around the sun, right? If you've learned about an orbit before, you know that the planets, they go in a circle around the sun, right? And the reason why planets go in circle around the sun is because the sun is so attractive. The sun is so powerful that it has this thing called gravity. And because of the gravity, it's almost like a magnet. And the planets rotate around the sun their entire lives. Because the sun is the center of the solar system. Well, the Kaaba is the same. The Kaaba is like the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Muslims go in circles around it. Why? Because they want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be the center of their lives. Just like the planets go around the sun all day, all night for their whole lives. We as Muslims want to worship Allah. We want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be the center of our lives. And that's how tawaf is similar to the orbit. Now look, the center of your life is the thing that you usually think about the most. Right? Because the thing that your life revolves around, the thing that is the most important thing in your life, the center of it, is the thing that you think about the most. What do you think about the most? By the way, if mom and dad are watching, mom and dad, what do you think about the most? Is it work? Is it money? Is it toys? Is it food? Oh my goodness, lasagna, burgers, Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah. Or is it Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Because if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala really is the center of your life, and if you want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be the center of your life, well, you would know it if you think about Him. You would know it if you think about Him. If you always say Alhamdulillah, if you always say MashaAllah, if you always say Subhanallah, if you always say Insha'Allah, if you're always thinking to yourself, oh my goodness, I wonder if Allah is happy with me. Oh my goodness, I wonder how I can serve Allah. Oh my goodness, I wonder how I can love Allah. Right? It's by doing these things that we can love, that we know that Allah is the center of our lives. So, if we want to show that Allah is the center of our lives, what can we do? What can you do? Even while you're playing, what can you do? Well, one thing you can do is maybe you can say Alhamdulillah, right? One thing you can do is maybe say MashaAllah. But one thing you can do is pray. Take a moment to pray to Allah, to perform salah. And by performing salah, we're able to show that at any day, any time, in the middle of whatever we're doing, we take a break to talk with Allah. After a bit of thought, Asad decides to do his prayers. After finishing, he finally takes a look into the telescope. Subhanallah. Look at all of these incredible planets in orbit around the sun. But me, I'm in orbit around their creator. By putting his prayers first, Asad was in Allah's orbit. Round of applause. Bum, ba-dum. The end. Man, mashallah, that was a really special story. And if you're not someone who's really big into like outer space and planets and these types of things, after this video, ask your parents to, go on YouTube and learn about how the solar system works, because it is fascinating. And when you see how the planets do orbit around the sun counterclockwise, it's so similar to the way that we as Muslims orbit around Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, putting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the center of our lives. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I had promised you a song. I said, look, if you stick with me, if you listen to me, if you enjoy these stories, I am going to share with you a song that I have written myself, a Noor Kids original, an Amin Aaser masterpiece. Well, I don't know if it's a masterpiece, but I think you'll love it. I hope you do. And I'm not a singer. I don't have the best voice in the world. I'm just a regular guy from Minnesota, and I'm just going to try to do this, and I hope you like it, and if you do, just, give me some support right in the chat box. Say, hey, Amin, good job. Give me some affirmation, okay? Affirmation basically means some compliments. That was a big word. I'm sorry I used it. I like using big words sometimes. Anyways, give me a little bit of love, so that way, if you do, maybe I'll do more songs, inshallah, okay? But if you're ready, I want you to, say Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, okay? This is how it goes. Salah in the morning, gifts in the evening, the day of Eid is here. Salah in the morning, gifts in the evening, the day of Eid is here. Salah in the morning, gifts in the evening, the day of Eid is here. I'm going to do it 2 more times. You guys do it with me, okay? And then we'll get into the actual song, okay? But I'm getting the rhythm, okay? So you do it with me, okay? Salah in the morning, gifts in the evening, the day of Eid is here. Do it with me. Salah in the morning, gifts in the evening, the day of Eid is here. We've worked real hard and we've sacrificed. We've put Allah at the center of our lives. We gave what we love and we do it 'cause it's right. Now we celebrate from morning till night. Salah in the morning, gifts in the evening, the day of Eid is here. Salah in the morning, gifts in the evening, the day of Eid is here. Muslims live around the world in different cities and states, like Kuala Lumpur and the United States. But for Hajj they all gather in one single place. Ibrahim and Hajar, their footsteps we trace. Salah in the morning, gifts in the evening, the day of Eid is here. Salah in the morning, gifts in the evening, the day of Eid is here. From Safa to Marwa, we call it Sa'i. We remember Hajar and her thirsty baby. We wear an ihram so clean and white, making tawaf from day and night. Salah in the morning, gifts in the evening, the day of Eid is here. Salah in the morning, gifts in the evening, the day of Eid is here. All right, round of applause. That was my attempt. There was a couple of areas where I got the rhyming a little bit wrong, but I tried really well. We wear an ihram so clean and wide, making tawaf around the Kaaba day and night. Okay, that was right. That was the way it was supposed to be, but I made a little bit of a mistake. But that's what happens when you type these live videos. Sometimes you make mistakes. Astaghfirullah, Rabbi wa atubu ilayhi. Allah, help me, inshallah. And you know what? This song was actually special because in it we talked about a number of things. We talked about this idea around sacrifice, right? That when we give out of what we love, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us something so much better. That is one of the biggest lessons we take away from Hajj, that we sacrifice for the sake of Allah. And when we do that, Allah gives us something so much better. The other thing we learn is this idea of Tawaf, that we put Allah at the center of our lives. And by the way, that, you know, when I told you that story of Sa'i from Safa till Marwa, that's what Lady Hajar did. So when you go for Hajj, Muslims, they actually do that exact action that Lady Hajar did when she goes from Safa till Marwa. Muslims, when they go to Hajj, they actually do that. That's one of the specific actions they perform. Now, here's the thing. I also talked about gifts. I said, Salah in the morning, gifts in the evening, the day of Eid is here. Gifts are actually an important part of Eid. It's a day to celebrate. It's a day to be happy. It's a day to eat macadamia nut cookies. White chocolate chip macadamia. It's a day that maybe you could eat lasagna. It's a day that you could do something special and to celebrate. Our Holy Prophet, peace and blessings be on him, he says that on the days of Eid, we are supposed to be happy. We're supposed to celebrate. We're supposed to give gifts. We're supposed to get gifts. And I want you to do this. Mom and Dad, if you're watching, make the day of Eid fun. Do something eventful. Get gifts and be happy and celebrate, because this is something that we as Muslims are supposed to do. It is the sunnah of the Prophet. And so with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I want to share you two last things before we go. Number one, between now and the day of Eid, I want you to think about this idea about doing something for the sake of Allah. Give something out of what you love the most for Allah, just like Prophet Ibrahim did. And when you do, you'll see that Allah gives you something so much better. Do it in the spirit of Hajj. And number two, I want you to think about a gift. Give your mom and your dad a gift. Think about what you can do for them. One thing you could do is maybe you can write them a note and say, Mama, Daddy, I love you. Maybe you could draw them a card. Maybe you could bake them some cookies with somebody you can get help with at home. I'm not sure. But get your mom and dad a gift. And inshallah, if your mom and dad are watching, they should get you a gift too. And by the way, if you're thinking of a gift, I've got an idea. Noor Kids. You can get Noor Kids for $1. You can try it, inshallah. Not only will you enjoy it, but also you'll be supporting us. We exist because of people like you. And also, last week I mentioned we just released this special bundle for children between the ages of 0 and 3. How do we help kids build a genuine love for Allah, a connection with Allah? Well, we designed 3 books. Bismillah, superhero. The idea that when we start with Bismillah, Allah puts a barakah in our efforts. Mr. Monster's dua. The idea that when when we call on Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answers us. And blessed for my teddy, which is the idea of when we give thanks, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us something so much more. And also, by the way, it comes with a little superhero cape and a backpack. You can check it out at noorkids.com. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for staying with me. I wish you and your family a wonderful Eid al-Adha. I will be making du'as for you, and I ask you to make some du'as for me. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.